You remember when a single summer vacation felt like an absolute eternity, but today, you blink and an entire year has vanished into thin air. You might think you are just too busy, or perhaps that you are losing your mind, but the truth is far more profound. Your brain is actively compressing your reality. The older you get, the faster time seems to fly. And this is not just a psychological illusion. It is a mathematically and biologically optimized feature of human evolution. In this video, we are going to dive into the lost science of time perception, exploring why your internal clock is fundamentally shifting and how understanding your aging brain can help you slow the world back down.
To understand why your years are slipping away, we first have to look at the mathematical reality of your existence, a concept first put forward by a French philosopher in 1877 known as the proportional theory. Human beings perceive the length of a time period by comparing it against the total amount of time we have already lived. When you are exactly 5 years old, a single year represents 20% of your entire life. That is a massive, incredibly dense chunk of your existence. But by the time you reach 50 years old, a single year is a mere 2% of your life. Mathematically speaking, every single time the Earth orbits the Sun, that year becomes a progressively smaller fraction of your total life experience. Your brain has a constantly expanding database of past years to compare the current one against, naturally making the present year feel significantly shorter.
But proportional math is only the beginning of the story. There are actual physical changes happening inside your skull that alter your perception of reality. Imagine your mind as a highly advanced movie camera. When you were young, this camera processes images incredibly quickly, capturing thousands of high-definition frames per second. Because you are capturing so much visual data, the movie of your life seems to play out in rich, expansive slow motion. However, as you age, the physical networks of nerves and neurons in your brain become more complex, but they also begin to slowly degrade, meaning electrical signals take slightly longer to travel. Consequently, your brain's camera captures fewer frames per second. You are literally absorbing less visual information over the exact same period of physical time. Recently, neuroscientists studying the aging brain discovered that neural states, the distinct patterns of brain activity that represent a specific moment or event, actually become longer and less differentiated as we get older. In simpler terms, younger brains flip between these neural states frequently, while older brains linger longer in each state. This process, called neural dedifferentiation, means your brain makes fewer mental cuts in the movie of your life. Just like a film where the camera slowly loses focus and the edges between scenes blur, your older brain processes continuous experiences with fewer clear breaks, creating the powerful illusion that time is rushing by. This blurring of time is drastically accelerated by how your brain handles familiarity. Your brain is an incredibly efficient recording device, but it is fundamentally lazy. It only wants to expend precious metabolic energy recording things that are novel, interesting, or critical for your survival. When you are a child, absolutely everything is new, so your brain works overtime taking highly detailed snapshots of these novel experiences.
But as an adult, you put your life on autopilot. You drive the same route to work, you interact with the same people, and you execute the same daily habits. Because your brain has seen all of this before, it stops paying close attention and just lumps days, weeks, and months together into one blurry memory. This is deeply connected to your brain's alpha wave oscillations. Alpha band oscillations are neural rhythms between 8 and 13 hertz that are associated with wakefulness, attention, and the suppression of task-irrelevant information. As you age, your peak alpha frequency physically slows down, and your overall alpha power decreases. Because of this reduction in alpha power, your brain becomes less efficient at filtering out neural noise and regulating information flow. You experience an increase in asynchronous, noisy neural activity, which researchers refer to as the aperiodic component. To compensate for this noisy, slower internal state, your brain relies heavily on a strategy called Bayesian optimization. Instead of trusting the noisy, real-time measurements of the present moment, your older brain constantly references the statistical distribution of your past experiences. It prioritizes your massive history of memories over the current moment, which inherently compresses your perception of the present. The most striking piece of this puzzle lies in your neurochemistry, specifically in a network called the striatal beat frequency model. Your brain's internal clock is largely driven by dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with reward and motivation. Studies demonstrate that high levels of dopamine make your internal biological clock run faster. When your internal clock is ticking incredibly fast, the external world seems to move at a slow, manageable pace. However, your natural dopamine production drops significantly as you age past your 20s. With less dopamine flooding your corticostriatal circuits, your internal biological clock physically slows down. Because your internal clock is lagging, the external world, the actual ticking clock on the wall, seems to be racing ahead of you. In a fascinating experiment, researchers asked healthy subjects of different ages to sit with their eyes closed and mentally count exactly 120 seconds. The younger group accurately tracked the time, but the older group consistently underestimated it, mentally finishing their 2 minutes significantly faster than the actual clock.
Their internal clocks had slowed down by an average of nearly 25%, proving that the sensation of time slipping away is a measurable biological reality. The illusion of time speeding up happens almost entirely in what psychologists call retrospective time. Sitting in a boring meeting feels just as agonizingly slow at 50 as it does at 25. But when you look backward over the years, the lack of new memories and the slower frame rate of your brain shrink your past. But you are not doomed to watch the rest of your life zip by on fast forward. You have the power to hack your own neurobiology. To slow down your perception of time, you must forcefully introduce novelty into your life. Break your routines, drive a different route to work, travel to unfamiliar places, or learn a complex new skill like a language or an instrument. Doing things you have never done before forces your brain off autopilot. It forces your neural camera to increase its frame rate, capturing dense, rich memories that will stretch out your perception of the year. Your aging brain is not malfunctioning. It is just waiting for you to give it something entirely new to record. The next time you catch yourself wondering where the year went, remember that time does not have to fly. Step out of your routine, seek out the unfamiliar, and force your brain to stay in the present moment. If you found this exploration of human biology and time perception fascinating, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the science of who we are. Until next time, stay curious and make every moment count.